Alright friends, we back with another video on guess who? JasonBlaha, strength, the strength and fitness guy, bro, the gym fitness lifting slave. Alright man, so he says, is junk volume a real issue or is our free time the real concern? Well, let's review this video and find out. He looks kind of sarcoplasmic-y here, very puffy. Oh, I love that look, man.
Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha.
That's the glucose look, the glucose.
Here, and today I thought I would chat a little bit, about the idea that junk volume may not really even exist. And again,
see, he got pissed off, so he started eating more carbohydrates to load this glycogen in his muscle to pretend he's got muscles. This is great. Plus the inflammatory response, because chronic lifter, man. He's chronically lifting, increasing that response, so he walks around like he's puffy.
and I understand there's a lot of nuance, a lot of complexity to this. I'm simply going to present a case for this as someone who is always kind of even.
So people present cases, but they never present proof. Here's the thing, man. People are gonna always like, how should I put it? Put down these studies, even though they put money into these studies. They paid. They actually did work. But no, some guy comes along and is gonna say, well, that's not true because this and that and this and that. And that's not what they're saying in the study. I don't think people are understanding exactly the study. It's just like this person just did a video on me about fruit or whatever. Yeah, alcohol is poison too. Cigarettes are poison too. You smoke cigarettes, but you didn't die right away, did you? You drank alcohol. It's poison, isn't it? People are poisoning themselves daily, right? Drinking alcohol. But they didn't die right away, did they? But here's the thing. Why are people dying at 70, 60, 70, even 50? People are dying right now in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. That's short-lived. We should be living as much as 120 to 150 years of age. You understand me? Native American people have been clocked in at 147 years of age. 150 practically. They live to 140, 50, 120. Most of the people will tell you that they're lived 120 years. Why are we dying at 70? Why are we living to 120? Because you're poisoning yourself. Plus, you're so decrepit at that point. You look like a shriveled up prune. Look at him. He's 46 and he looks like he's 70. Do you understand? Do people understand this? Are they out to lunch or what?
That historically, we probably do need to be maybe a little careful about junk volume. All right, but here's my question with it. Do we really need to be careful about it? Because if something is junk.
The diminishing effect of your satellite cells, you should be concerned about that. That's what causes sarcopenia. The sarcopenia, the shortening of the telomeres and stuff, and your repair mechanism goes down. Look, here's the thing. These cells are getting aged in your body. They're old. Okay, they're old. So they don't really repair your body the same as they did when they were young. Think about it. When you were young, if you broke a bone, it's 6 weeks to heal. It takes over 7 to 8 months to heal a bone if you're an adult now after the age of 24. Why is that? Why after 24, if you bust a bone or something, it takes longer to heal? Then after 40, if you actually wreck something, it's fibrotic. It becomes fibrotic. It's perpetual fibrosis. It's never healing. It's in perpetual healing. It's never healing because it's fibrotic. So why is that? Why is that? See what I mean? You have to question everything. Why are these things happening? Is it maybe, does it have something to do with your diet, what you're eating? I don't know. I can't really tell you the truth. North Americans are hawked up on a bunch of things. They've tolerated it for thousands of years now since they become farmers doing weird things. Destroying their progenitor cells, their bodies, whatever, poisoning themselves. They love alcohol, cigarettes, just constantly poisoning themselves. This is the environment we live in, an artificial world we live in, injecting these stupid toxic poisoning hormones and shit.
Volume and junk volume. Here's what junk volume is defined as. Junk volume is defined as any training volume that we do.
Junk volume is any of the training that we do, okay.
That does not elicit a training response, meaning we've exceeded what we're going to adapt to, maybe our recovery.
Doesn't exceed a training response means what we adapted to. He's adapted in this garage. He's adapted to all these movements and exercises and everything he's doing. So what exactly is happening now to him if he's adapted? What is he getting if he's adapted? Nothing. Accelerated aging and wearing himself out. High cortisol.
Is compromised enough or whatever that we're just simply not seeing any more progress as a result of doing it. But
he sees zero progress of doing any of these things. There's absolutely zero progress. Just keep watching him every day. There's no progress. He looks exactly the same.
It's not overtraining, because overtraining is going to be a detriment, right? So hopefully people...
What is overtraining? What if you hadn't trained for a couple of weeks and you come into the gym? Is that an overtraining? If you do a lot of something, that considered overtraining? And what is the response you get if you came in periodically and you lifted and you overtrained periodically a muscle? How do you damage a muscle fiber? How do you get it to micro tear? How do you think a muscle micro tears? How do you think that works exactly? How do you get muscle damage? What type of damage is it? Are there more than one types of damage? And what does make the satellite cell donate its nuclei? You understand me? To further that MND size domain. And what happens when you reach an MND size domain? What do you do then? Complain that you're a newbie. I reached my newbie gains. I reached my genetic limit. I'm a hard gainer. Is that it? Is that the whole point? To complain about something?
We'll understand that difference. And I guess we could look at volume and place it into 3 categories. Actually, we place it in 4 categories. It could be not enough, right?
I'll tell you right now, junk volume, that doesn't exist. There's no such thing as junk volume. It's just volume. It's just a fancy word he's using.
Which we all know what that means, not enough. It's probably not even enough to make any gains, maybe not even enough to keep what you have. It's just not enough.
Again, lifting does not make gains in a gym, okay? It breaks proteins down, and it makes you more catabolic than you can imagine. Here, look, I could prove this, okay? Hold on a second. So, because somebody questioned this. There was this puppet idiot that questioned this thing. Says 25 grams of protein. Nowhere in there it says that. It is a study though. So this is from NCBI, okay? It's nutrition and muscle protein synthesis descriptive review. So if you scroll down here, it's always highlighted. They even highlight it for you when it pops up. So if muscle is going to gain mass, protein synthesis needs to exceed this breakdown. While it is a common view that resistance training is a powerful stimulus for protein synthesis, it is also important to recognize that it is a signal for what? Protein breakdown. So what exactly are they saying here? Phillips ETL has shown that resistance exercise results in an increased muscle net protein balance for 24 to 48 hours. But guess what? If you worked out in a gym, that's also a breakdown of 24 to 48 hours. Now do you understand? Yeah, so every time you come back the next day to the gym, you're still in a broken down state. So if you don't consume enough, you won't replenish that which you lost and that to build. And you're not building anything anyways because you're never doing it. Both protein anabolism and catabolism increase after exercise. There you go. So anabolism has been increased, but catabolism has been increased. Think about that carefully. What do they mean by that? That when you worked out in the gym, both protein anabolism and catabolism increased after your exercise. So if you're walking around and you don't eat right away, you're in a catabolic state, but you have an anabolic window. You understand me? To put back that protein and then to put back more protein to grow. That's going to take a lot. Okay, so you're in a catabolic state. See what I mean? But the increase in anabolism is relatively larger, causing the net muscle protein balance to be positive. It is. It's larger. That's why you have a chance now. Protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown to build muscles. You understand me? You've got a greater chance. All right. In this experiment, used 8 sets of 8 concentric or eccentric muscle actions, single, So I can't go through the whole thing. Allowed them to consume meals prior to. Okay, in this report, they're talking about amino acids. They used amino acids plus meals like fish, meat, dairy, whatever, okay? So they actually used real food plus they replenished with amino acids. So they were adding a lot of protein on top. That's what they were doing, okay? Anyway, you get the point.
Right? You're going to have positive, beneficial volume. You've done enough volume, and that's going to be a pretty large range. That's not good. It's going to be a very, very large range.
No volume is beneficial. There is no benefits in volume. I just told you. The only benefit that you do in exercise is now there's a window for anabolism, and it could be higher than the catabolism. But if you're not eating the proper amount of food and coming back the next day in a kind of a catabolic state still, you're breaking down more proteins than you're putting back. But that isn't building that. Listen, you're building the mass on the myofibrillar, but that doesn't mean you're building more myofibrillars. Remember, the muscle fiber has an MND size limit. It can only get, that mass on that myofibrillar can only get so big. It can't get bigger and bigger and bigger forever. Oh, he took a steroid and it magically made the myofibrillar explode. Look at that, he's so big. You know what I mean? That's stupid, that's retarded. Fat cells can exponentially get bigger. They can get astronomically huge because they're not regulated by MND size limit. But muscles are regulated by the MND size limit. Ain't no steroid gonna get you over that. If anything, the only way to get over MND, I could tell you another way how your muscles get over MND size limit. It's easy, it's called glycogen loading. That's why when these guys go after steroids, the gains are going. Get it? The gains are going. The glycogen, because glycogen cannot be solidified. It is not a protein, it is glycogen. It is not a protein, it is a glycogen. You get it? It's an energy source. It cannot solidify into a muscle. And even if it did, it can't, because the myofibrillar has an MND size limit. It can't get any bigger than it can get.
You've done enough volume to see a positive benefit, and you are stimulating a positive change in your body. Okay?
He's stimulating a positive change in his body. You want to see, oh, man. Let's see if he's stimulating a positive change in his body. Let's see if he's doing that. Here it is, MND size limit, myonuclear domain size. So you go here. MND size has a ceiling limit during hypertrophic process. Beyond which extra myonuclei are donated by the satellite cell to support further muscle growth. To support further muscle growth, it is beyond. So what exactly is he doing here? What's he doing here?
Stimulating a positive change in your body. Okay?
What is the positive stimulating change in his body? What is he stimulating positive change in his body? What positive can you get out of this if it's breaking down proteins and tissue and stuff? Accelerated aging and fucking, I don't know, cortisol is high, catabolic state now. What are the positive changes? See what I mean? What are the positive changes? Especially if you're not eating, especially a natural diet.
Beneficial volume. So we got insufficient, beneficial.
Have you seen the food that he eats? Tofu, some garbage food. He's looking very puffy again because he's hitting the carbs.
Then we would have the category of junk volume, which is a hypothetical category. We do use that term a lot, but it's a hypothetical category because we've never quite really pinned down really where it is, scientifically. And
boring.
When you go to a certain point, it's just not doing anything extra other than you just spending time pumping the weight.
You mean it's not breaking any more proteins? You want to end up with rhabdo in a stupor in a hospital in a coma, trying to break down proteins? That's what crazy people do in CrossFit. Then they end up in the hospital with rhabdo.
Okay? And then we would have detrimental, like overtraining. Well, what would that mean? You're training so hard that you're under-recovering to the point to where you are losing progress.
Yeah, overtraining. Overtraining, that's what he does. You going chronically lifting, you're breaking down proteins. And like it said there, 24 to 48 hours, you're in this catabolic state. So even though, you know, the day past 24 hours, it's still catabolic. It's echoing. You're catabolic. And then you're like, well, I got to come in the next day. I got to do my bro split. What? You're still catabolic. You didn't consume enough. How do you know how much you need to consume? Here's the question. How do you know how much protein you need to consume? That is the question. One guy's going to say, well, 25 grams. Okay, what about 25 grams? What about that? I don't know. How much did you work out according to the guy next to you? What did you do that was different than he did? How much did you work out? See what I mean? Did you recover? Did you put back the proteins that you lost and then grew more of those proteins to see the mass on the myofibrillar? Or are you just pretending and skating uphill? Gaining mass, losing mass, gaining mass and losing mass, like this guy. He's up and down, gaining mass, losing mass, gaining mass, gaining some proteins, losing proteins, gaining proteins, losing proteins. He's lifting for no other reason than to lose proteins and then put them back. I gotta lift again, lose proteins and put them back because muscle has an M&D size limit. You understand me? It's not getting any bigger. A muscle cell can only get so big. It can't keep growing forever like a fat dude weighing 1,000 pounds. That's why you don't see no 1,000-pound muscle guys walking down the street. You understand me? If you were to work in a factory and a box, you lifting a box would make make your cells big out of breatharian diets, you'd all quit. It'd be uncomfortable.
Okay, we are sliding backwards. All right.
Ask yourself this question: why is it easier to get fat than to gain muscle? Because fat cells are not regulated by M&D size limit. You understand me? But muscle cells are. Yeah.
Here's the problem. Is jump volume.
Why is it easy to eat a bunch of carbs and load a bunch of glycogen in your muscles? Why does your muscles load so much glycogen? Because it's not regulated by M&D size limit. So you can experiment by eating fucking bags and bags of potatoes and find out for yourself. Me, I do everything. I find out for myself about everything. On my old channel, I did experiments with fructose. I did experiments with fruits, vegetables, ate them. They made me sick. They destroyed me. They destroyed the progenitor cell, the satellite cell. They destroy your strength. They destroy your mitochondria. You become dysfunctional over time. So yeah, you have to experiment with these things. Experiment with a carnivore diet, a natural diet, experiment with these unnatural diets, artificial diets. You need to experiment the difference between periodic lifting, chronic lifting, thermogenic effects, doing all these things. You need to find out. I already found out because I've already done all these things. So I already know what's going to happen. I know the outcome.
A problem. It's a time management problem potentially. And again, I think this situation, when we try to look at the data that's there, and again, keep in mind, I always point out exercise science is very incomplete.
No, it's not incomplete. They've got a lot of stuff. They put a lot of money in there because it keeps them busy. It gives them a job, something to do. That's why they put a lot in it. But when it comes to the food industry, I wouldn't trust them. They're cartels. But these other studies, scientific studies, progenitor cells, body, proteins, this, that, I can trust at least.
Studies are often so poorly done that it's hard to draw conclusions from. Not enough people.
They are not poorly done. They are done quite well.
Okay.
And each one of these people still draw out make other studies upon those studies to find out what their outcome would be. What the outcome would be. That is the whole point. To do a study is to find out what would be the outcome. You can experiment with yourself. Eat a bunch of fucking fructose. Blend fruits like crazy and eat vegetables and find out for yourself whether they make you dysfunctional and sick, give you metabolic diseases, fatty liver disease, kidney problems, dysfunctional mitochondria, make you weak as a motherfucker, and destroy your satellite cells. You can find out for yourself. I already know what people get when they smoke cigarettes. They look like shit, and their teeth, and they age. They're accelerated aging, smoking cigarettes. And possibility they may get cancer. I don't know. It's all dependent. Now, alcohol, I know what happens to people that get alcohol. Sclerosis of the liver. They become dysfunctional too because it's toxic, it's poison. They don't all die right away doing these things. They just become totally dysfunctional and fucked up. Yeah, and they age, accelerated aging. Look at them. Look at alcoholics, look at people that drink, and look at people that smoke. Then you got people that do it moderation, you got people that do it excessively. It's all dependent. So there's excessive amounts, lower amounts, but the outcomes are usually the same. Some are more and some are less. That's all. You need to figure out on your own what that is.
We are so far from this being a complete science that it does still fall largely in the area of hardcore.
Hardcore, complete science, yes.
Here, what you're adding is having such a small additive effect that it may not be barely measurable with instruments, might not be statistically significant because it's problematic with measuring it person to person.
No, it's all measurable.
I don't know, it makes some sense.
It's all measurable.
Logically speaking, it does make sense. He's like, I don't know that there really is such a thing as junk volume.
There isn't. There's no such thing as junk volume. It's made up. All right? No such thing.
And juice, okay? And I think that's why this is a topic that needs to be discussed with that is not everyone has the same amount of gym time. Okay, they just don't. People can
Yeah, okay, whatever.
benefit, but how about just simple nutrient partitioning? The higher activity level and just choosing to do more weights for it could have some potential issues for improved insulin sensitivity and nutrient partitioning, burning through calories, metabolic benefits that exist, potentially beyond.
Metabolic benefits. He keeps talking about benefits of lifting. There are absolutely zero benefits in lifting. It's fucking destroying your body. But if you ask me are there benefits in eating a natural diet, and a lot of it, yes. Eating food, there's benefits there. But there's absolutely zero benefits in destroying your body doing this, what he's doing in the garage.
Just us gaining muscle. Because at the end of the day, there are health benefits.
Oh, gaining muscle. But he's not gaining muscle, he's breaking muscle down. There's no benefits in doing that.
It's to being more physically active. That's why all these high step counts.
There's more health benefits to being physically active. There's no health benefits in being physically active. You get better at doing those things, but there's no health benefits there. You understand me? There's health benefits when you eat a natural diet.
Are often correlated with very favorable health outcomes.
Food makes you healthy. That's why rich people are healthy. They can afford to eat whatever they want. And then the poor, they can't eat what they want. That's why the poor people in the world are unhealthy. That's why the most unhealthy nation in the world is India, because they're vegans. They eat vegan diet. That's why they're most unhealthy. Their children come out fucking like mashed potatoes.
Okay, but in this
And some of these Asian countries and Africa too, they can barely eat meat. They're always on TV complaining, looking for money, showing these poor kids with bloated stomachs and whatever, man, and crying, UNICEF and this and that, all these weird fucking people trying to get money off the suffering of these people, oh man, and then feeding them rice and nasty foods with like fucking arsenic in it.
case, in some case, people's training volumes just are simply so high that starts turning into just almost their non-exercise.
Their training volumes. Man, this guy, why does this guy, if he's so into health and this lifting and everything's garage, why does he take steroids for? He's taking steroids. Why does he do that? Why does he need that? If there's so much benefits in all this lifting and everything, why does he need steroids? See what I mean? Plus he eats an unnatural diet. I gotta go, friends. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Is junk volume a real issue? There's no such thing as junk volume. See you later.